The Friday before the storm. Big Sills. It's over. Really, pretty much all the debating's over. All the thought process of what may happen. All 32 teams are pretty much married to what they have right now in front of them when it comes to their rosters. Okay? We got to get through tonight. And if you're a good team, though, you're looking for one or two players. I'm going to get to last night's unwatchable football game between the Colts and the Eagles here in a second, but that thing was unwatchable last night. You know, it's funny. Tone and everybody had me wanting to do the post-game show. Big Joe Kraus wants me to do the post. I'm like, please, God, don't call a timeout. This was 10 minutes left in the game. I'm going, oh, my God, you're calling timeouts. Why are you throwing the ball? Please, God. Big Sills wants a cocktail. I'm like, this is terrible. But with all that being said, I know some of you are going to do this. Sills is doing this because he's trying to get on the good side of Eagle fans. No. I have a message for Anthony Richardson, and it's personal. You see, last night, doing the Eagle Flybird last night, kid, so you were a star last night against XFL guys? Typical for a low-life Gator, right, Howie? Typical low-life Gator. The arrogant Florida Gators. Right there, that was a great example of it. That's why I hate them. Everything about them. Their colors, their city, their town, their players, their coach, their history, their lineage. There's nothing in Gainesville I like except the alligator farm. That's it. Howie. Seriously, man. Maybe this is why I got an ass with Howie Roseman, the GM of the Eagles, is because I know deep down he's got that, that Gator blood in him. And it makes my Cane blood boil, man. I'm just saying. Just telling you, dude. A Gator blood, man. You see that last night? In front of Eagle fans, he's doing that. I was like, dude, so you beat up on the XFL guys. Congratulations to you. You know, the USFL and The Rock, they were at the game last night looking for potential players like Trey Sermon so that they could go play in that league next year. And Anthony Richardson's out there being a tool. Well, it's typical because he's a Florida Gator. What a joke, man. Honestly, hey, you're lucky you're not at the vet. Those people from the 700 section that came down and kicked your ass. I'm actually shocked nobody jumped out of the stands and beat him up. I mean, dude, you know what? I may have been the guy in the alleyway to throw a beer on a guy like that. I'm sorry. I can't. Hey, just trust me. When I'm at a game, you should see me at my daughter's game. I get asked to leave sometimes by my wife. Don't get me thrown out of here. I'm a coach. Hey, ref, I got $100 in my pocket. You want to keep it fair? I'll give it to you. My wife's like, please stop. Please. Yeah, I don't know why either. Honest to God, I never act like that before. Unless I'm like, what are you looking at? Hey, guy, at least keep it fair. Oh, it's terrible. It's terrible. Anthony Richardson. That's typical, though. That's what Gator guys do. They're arrogant and stupid. They don't know any better. They can't help themselves. They can't help themselves. All right. So I'm going to say this to you before we get going. Olamide Zaccheaus. I am sick and tired of hearing this. Well, I want to keep Quezzer because of speed. I'm done with that speed shit. That's not good enough to keep you in that number 3 hole. Sorry, I'm done with that. That's just an excuse for him not being good. I don't give a shit if he's fast. He's not good. Put the kid in there from Atlanta. Put him in there. I'm tired of this talk. Every freaking show. Well, the only reason is there because he blows the top. Stop that. That is not good enough. He's not tough. He's a marshmallow. He doesn't go for jump footballs. He's not talented enough to be there. Stop. He doesn't have talent. He's decent. The NFL doesn't stand for the DFL, the Decent Football League. He's decent. I am sick of that guy. Done with him. Well, he's fast, Dan. So what? He's not good enough. Every time we have a conversation, it's always the go-to. Well, he's really fast. So what? If I had to count on that guy to make a critical catch, he won't. If I had to count on a guy to make a absolute big play, he won't. If he had to fight for a jump ball, he won't. I'm done with it. Stop. Eagle fans, you're going soft on me. You're going soft. Well, he's fast. So what? He's not good enough. Jesus criminy. He is not good enough. And get this, you have a better option on the team. What, Quez is really fast. You've been telling me that for 3 years. I'm sick of that conversation. I'm totally sick of it. Aren't you? It's like waiting on Derek Barnett's ass. God. You know why he's there? Because how he drafted him. Derek Barnett's in the building because how he drafted him. Come on, man. It's about winning football games, not giving out library cards. Jesus criminy. There's 53 chairs in that Eagle locker room. Make every one of them earn it. Don't give these chairs out because you want to anoint somebody because he's fast. He's a grade up from Jalen Reagor. Come on. Okay? Man, all you sit there and do is give this guy hall passes. Well, he's fast. So what? I'm done with that. That's not, hey, him being fast is not good enough to be on my starting 22. That's not good enough. I want to have a guy I can rely on. By the way, I revised my starting 22. We're going to do it again because I put some changes in there. Bear from Philly. Barnett's a liability because I can't trust him. Totally. Eagles are going to trust him, though. We'll get to that here in a minute. Here's some of my takeaways from last night. Completely unwatchable football game. It was like a scrum. So you really don't take anything out of this except a couple takeaways. That was the Trey Sermon tryout. They gave him every opportunity last night to stay on the football team and validate him being on the active roster last year every single game, and he failed. That guy is not good enough to be on your football team. Now, would they put him on the practice squad and delegate him there? Maybe. And if someone signs him, they sign him. But in my opinion, he didn't do anything last night to validate one of the 53 roster spots. He did nothing to validate that. And they wanted him to make the team. Look at all the reps they gave him and the chances. In the last 2 games that he's played, he's been terrible. He's terrible. He's not good enough from what I've seen and what he put on tape. He's not good enough for me to even sign off a practice squad. He's not good enough. Now, if we're talking special teams and putting him on a kickoff team and stuff like that, that's a whole different conversation. If you think he can be a viable guy and you like him and he's a good teammate, coaches will make addendums to that. Well, I use him on special teams and he's an emergency running back. Okay, as long as that salary's in line, I'm all right with that. Because you do need talented people. Shit, why haven't they tried him out? If they love him so much, why isn't he a punt or kick returner? You need help there. You got a sorry-ass special teams. It's sorry. The whole unit, you've done nothing in 2.5 years to better that unit. It's still the worst. You put no money into those special teams. And it will rear its head again. It'll cost you. So at the end of the day, I do this to you. Okay. You know, Trey Sermon had a chance last night. He failed. Actually, 2 weeks. Actually, the entire exhibition season, he's had a shot to make the team and the active roster. He's not good enough. The Eagles 0-3 in exhibition. I could care less about that record. I don't really care about records or points in exhibition football. They're meaningless. I'm not saying the effort level's meaningless. I'm just saying, dude, you know it's funny. I gotta keep reminding myself the Steelers are going to play all their starters. And Mike Tomlin makes a great point. How can you box if you're not sparring? And he's right. And he's like, I don't have to validate me playing my top guys. And again, I would say this to you. I don't think the Steelers are a Super Bowl team. I think they're still finding their way and their identity. So to me, if Nick Sirianni and the Eagles had a team like the Steelers, I would say this. I'm going to play my starters in the final exhibition game too, because I'm still not sure in a lot of spots in Pittsburgh. You see, there's a difference between being the Eagles and the Steelers. The Eagles are close to winning a Super Bowl. The Steelers are 10 years from the Super Bowl. So there's a difference. You're still looking at personnel, and you're still looking at grouping situations and how many guys to keep when it comes to particular groupings. So end of the day, I mean, there's not a chance. Philly didn't lose a single game last year because of special teams. Try the Super Bowl, dickhead. Try the Super Bowl. Go back and look at the Super Bowl. Didn't lose a single game because of special teams. Well, you must not have watched the Super Bowl. You must not have watched it. They didn't lose a single game. No, you're right. You lost the game because of special teams. Okay. Whatever, dude. So 0-3, I mean, not a big deal. Okay, not a big deal. I'll say this to you that I have a takeaway about the new coordinators and what I've seen in camp so far and in the games. I like these guys. I like Brian Johnson. He's got a great bedside manner. He's not overcooking it. He's got a really good bedside manner, and I think that relationship with Hurts is a perfect fit for that offense. He's not going to overcook something that's already a spectacular meal. And it's so good to see, because how many times do you see an offensive coordinator go into a building and they've got great talent and he just shakes that thing up so much, it's chaotic. And because he wants to put his He wants to put his stamp on it so bad. He wants to put his stamp on it that he shakes it up too much. And it looks like one of those like Christmas globes, you know? And you're just not sure and you're like this. I'm like, he's been really consistently good. He's been vanilla too. You don't want to show too much. You have too much to show. Let me tell you something. What the Eagles did in the exhibition season and what they did in the organized team practices, it must be difficult for them not to go full out, because I think they're going not half speed, but I think they've got these horses at the start gate at the Kentucky Derby at Churchill Downs, and these guys are just waiting to get out on that racetrack. I mean, it's like they've held them back. There's no question they held the entire team back on that side of the ball. Okay? And Brian Johnson's done a nice job. Let me get over to the defensive side. I think Desai and Patricia are working really good. Look, you could be disappointed in some of the performances this year. There's better teams, better quarterbacks, better coaches, and more responsibility this year and lesser experience on the team. Jonathan Gannon, I'm going to make a prediction to you here. I'm not saying Sherman is good, but being fair, playing with XFL line, okay. I just haven't seen anything in the preseason to make me think he's on the 53-man roster, Bear. I just don't, okay? I'm going to make a prediction to you. You know what's going to happen in the Philly media and around the country? See, they miss Gannon. No way will they miss Gannon. No way. Sean Desai is not going to have as good a defense as he did a year ago. He may have better talent, but he's got to let that talent mature. He's got to be more patient than Gannon. Remember something with Gannon. Gannon couldn't fix the run game. You know what he did? He went and cried to Howie. Howie went and got him to Sue and Linville Joseph. It wasn't anything schematically he fixed. They went and got personnel. Jonathan Gannon, the last 2 years, has been a benefactor of shitty teams and experience on the team. The side doesn't have that. Better teams you're playing, less experience. And people will go, well, Sills, do you think that there's a higher ceiling in week 10 or week 8 of the season? Yes. That's 2 months from now. That's 2 months from now. Okay? If 2 months from now we don't see improvement on the defense, then we'll have a conversation about Sean Desai and Matt Patricia. But until then, I like the way they've moved guys around. They're going to move guys all around. And you know why they're going to do that? They're going to do that because lack of experience and use of their athleticism. That's what they're going to do this year. They're more athletic this year than they were a year ago. They're less experienced, though. That's a fact. Now, if it were me, I'd rather have the ability to have more upside as a coordinator. But you got to be patient with me here. We got to see what we have. You don't know what you have yet. You have no idea what you have yet on defense. You assume it, but you don't know yet. We all don't know. It's an unknown. Last year, we knew the two tackles inside were good. We knew the linebacker was good. We were suspect on Gardner Johnson and Kaiser. We were also on Reddick because they didn't really know in the first month of the season how to use him properly. Dropping him in coverage was a terrible idea. Okay? So they've got a lot to figure out here. Okay? What's up, Quan? Appreciate you coming in, brother. Sills, first 6 weeks are critical for the defense to grow and build chemistry. Correct. You got to build some continuity in there, too. I'm going to get to the starters here in a second here. I've revised my starting 22 a little bit. I think New England is going to rush for almost 200 yards against us. Boy, JM, if that happens, that New England rushes against the Eagles for 200 yards, it's a fourth quarter football game. I still favor Philly in that game, even if it is a fourth quarter game, and it could be a fourth quarter game. Okay? Dan, a lot of good things I've seen during the offseason, a lot of work. Hey, a lot of work to do. I agree. I agree. Zeke has his hair on fire, and that other kid they got is a really good football player too, Stevenson. Okay, can you stop Zeke? I'm going to get to all of this, I promise. I think your special teams, again, in 2 years, you've done nothing to fix the thing. I mean, you know, and here, I'm going to do this too. And the fact that the Eagles don't care about training camp, I mean, I still have to get away from that, Aaron Rodgers is playing this week. Now, that's a new situation, so I get it. I go, but man, and the Eagles, they care more about health than really being with chemistry in week one. And that played out against Detroit, did it not? The Eagles took health over preparation. And I'm not saying mental preparation. I'm saying physical preparation. That Detroit game last year, in my opinion, was the toughest game that the Eagles played all year in the regular season. That was the toughest game. That and the Washington game that they lost was the toughest games that they played last year. And it was week one. So you got to kind of balance that out that, hey, week one, most teams aren't prepared. It's not an Eagle thing. It's the limited practices. But the Eagles go beyond that. So, hey, look, it's worked in health. You'll never be able to convince me that they didn't do the right thing last year, even though I wanted them to play more when you start 22 starters in the Super Bowl. Sills, you may have that opinion, but the Eagles start 22 guys in the Super Bowl? Yes. Their original 22 that they started in September with? Yes. I mean, dude, you're just venting. Right. Okay? Right. So I have to go with what they're doing and what they've done the last 2 years. Okay? And keeping the team healthy. So let's do this. Let's look at the 22 here. And some of the backups. The offense, is the offense better this year than last year? Do you have more talent on the team this year than you did last year heading into the start of the season? Yeah. Yeah. With some subtle changes. I think you do, and I'll tell you why. Hurts has done a nice job this year, in my opinion, of seeing pressure from what I'm hearing. And they have brought one thing they've worked on in the OTAs and in the organized team practices has been bringing pressure on him, and he has seen it well. I'll tell you something else you're going to see a lot more of this year. I wouldn't be shocked if you start to see him doing more rollout passes, because with the addition of Swift now, you're going to have a progression that he can go to on rollouts. You drop Swift down in that slot. You have him come across the field on a slant. Then you have Devontae or AJ on the other side as your secondary pass pattern. You have Goddard coming up the seam. I think they're going to do more things with him rolling out and using them wheels of his. Not so much this. I don't think running him, in my opinion, 17 times is what they're going to be trying to do here. I think they're going to move him around more. And I think he's going to look like Steve Young and Aaron Rodgers early in their careers, where they're moving him around more. Okay? So, because I think they want to get the ball into Swift's hands and see what he can do in open space against corners and free safeties. I want to see that, because I think he could be a weapon out there and loosen up the Y and Z. And also, you got Goddard coming up to seam. I think that loosens all of that up. And see, to me, would it shock me if Swift has more catches than the number 3 wideout on the team? I think that's their objective. I think Swift is going to be the 4th option. It's going to be the 2 wideouts, tight end, and then Swift. And then that other guy is going to – maybe that's why they keep Quez here. I'm going to get to him here in a second. But I think they're going to move him around more. And again, not so much running vertically. I think laterally. I think they're going to move him around to try to create more passing lanes to get guys open. And that's the addition of Swift. And in my opinion, I think that's an upgrade from just having an eye back there and turning around and handing it to a guy. I mean, what Swift helps the wideouts more than what Miles Sanders did a year ago. And that's what I said. Okay. Barb goes, Danny, when I said I like Swift, you said he sucks. I've never said Swift sucks. I said the day of the draft I liked it and I loved it. I've never said that. I hate Penny. I've never said that about Swift. I think he is the perfect back for this running back or for this offense. I've never not liked the move. I don't like really the room that much. I do love Swift. So I think by the way, my number 2 running back is Gainwell. You know why Gainwell's my number 2 back? Gainwell's my number 2 back because I can trust him. I don't really trust anybody else back there, nor can I rely on anyone else back there because they're always injured. So to me, I trust Gainwell. So my 2 guys are Swift and Gainwell. And Gainwell's a guy that at least I can trust, okay? A.J. Brown, obviously, is WR1. And, you know, I'm gonna do this here, okay? I'm gonna put Zacchaeus as number 2 behind him. So those 2 guys are A.J. Brown and Zacchaeus behind A.J. Brown. I think that's pretty good. And by the way, if you go back and you look at the Atlanta stats for Olamide, if you go back and you look at those stats in Atlanta for him, he progressively got better and better with shitty quarterbacking in Atlanta. If you go back and look at his target ratio and you go back and look at his catch numbers, he got better every year. So to me, I like him. And I would put him in that 3 role. But personally, because he's a rental, how he drafted Quez, they're going to put him in that 3 hole, I think. And I wouldn't. But I think they're okay. I think they're going to. Devontae, then I got Ward behind him. Devontae Smith, by the end of the year, I don't know if he's going to have the same kind of ability that A.J. Brown has, but he may have better numbers because of the entire offense around him. Swift is the reason that they will keep more young DBs and not 5-6 wide receivers. Last year, you said you think that Swift was going to be a star. Hey, I think he's going to be a star in this league. And by the way, I was so impressed with him in that opening game last year against the Eagles. And he played quite a few games last year, okay? He played quite a few games, okay? I'm going to put Watkins there, and I think they're going to put Watkins there. They want him to have that job for whatever reason. I don't think he's worthy of that job. He's done nothing in 2 years. And in the most important game, in the most important times when I needed him, he is not reliable. And I'm going to give you 2 examples, the Super Bowl and in the Dallas game too. I mean, dude, wasn't it not embarrassing to you to watch him have a football in his hand and watch the Cowboy defender just take it out of his hands? I mean, he doesn't fight for anything. He's barely fighting for his job. Wait a minute. If he can't fight for footballs on a field, what makes you think he's fighting for his job? You got to fight for your seat in the locker room. I don't think he's got the intestinal fortitude to fight for anything in his life. It's not his makeup. A.J. Brown's going to fight for every inch on the field. So is Devontae. Quez Watkins doesn't fight for anything, which means he doesn't stand for anything in his career except speed. I'm sick of that. I'm sick of it. This is not about being nice. This is about winning. Who said being nice has anything to do with building a roster? You think when you call a player in to bring his playbook, that's nice? You think there's a nice way to be fired in the NFL? Do you actually think because the guy's kinder in words, it's not the same impact? Give me a break. I'd rather have you tell me, bring your playbook. Travel agent will be with you. They'll have your ticket for you. And good luck to you. That's all I need. I don't need you to tell me about your life story because I don't care. They don't care. I don't give a shit you have a family. And by the way, that's not just the Eagles. That's the entire league talks like that. This is not about liking the guy's name on the back of the jersey. This is about liking the emblem on the helmet. You think this is college football? Got nothing to do with loving anything. Okay? Walter goes, Quez will surprise me. I'm done with it. I mean, in the biggest games of his career so far, he's been a turd. A turd. Tight end, Dallas Goedert. Only thing I don't trust about Dallas Goedert is 2 things. Stop dropping every third football, and please stay healthy. Now, I have a theory on why he doesn't stay healthy. You know why? He's looking to run dudes over every down. And here's the other thing. You know why he's more healthier than Travis Kelce? Travis Kelce doesn't have to block. This guy's a beast on blocking. So there's more opportunities for him to get banged up. I don't know. I mean, maybe the Eagles protect him a little more so that they don't lose him. Don't have him in so many of the run formations. Maybe line him up a little wider. Don't have him take on all those top-flight defensive ends like Bosa and them guys. You don't have to chip all the time. Make his life a little easier so you can get him in week 17. This guy does everything 100 miles an hour. He blocks great. He's got a no. I tell you this, he's got a better nose for the end zone than Zach Ertz ever had. This guy's not looking to go down. He's looking to go downtown. Zach Ertz, every time he catches the ball, is looking for 4-leaf clovers. Boom, boom, boom. This guy's never a yak guy. Great hands, unbelievable, really good, but Goddard's better. But they got to protect Goddard a little more. Okay? I mean, I like him. Okay? Look, I think he's a 75 catch, maybe 950. Maybe he could sneak near 1,000. He's a good football player and a blocker, which makes him important to me. But I think you got to protect him a little more. Left tackle Mulata. I had Dennis Kelly behind him. I would make this point to you about Jordan Mulata. It's time, kid. I want to see a Pro Bowl next to your name this year. It's time. Okay? It's time. Let's go. Let's push your name up that list a little more. You know, you're at 9 now, I would say, left tackles. Let's go. Top 5. It's time. You have the ability. I think you have more skill on that offensive line than any player in that line. You have more athleticism than anyone on the Eagle O-line. There is nobody that is more athletic than Jordan Mailata on that offensive line. Nobody. And by the way, that's not a debate, and it ain't close. Okay? And it's not close on anyone close in athleticism. Okay? He is the most athletic offensive lineman on that offensive line. Okay? Here's a guy that didn't play pro. Wait a minute. Let me take that back. Lane Johnson is not more athletic. This guy didn't play football 4 years ago. He didn't play football. He never put a helmet on. He never put his shoulder pads on. He never had to put on hip pads. He's never in a million years lined up in a three-point stance. And now he's the 9th best O-lineman making $15.5 million a year. And you think there's someone more athletic on your O-line than a guy that never played football? Who? This guy just went like this one day. Hey, let me try that. Now he's one of the top 10 guys in the league. You don't understand how insane that is. He didn't even know what a football looked like. My daughter plays rugby, and it's got some similarities, but nothing like what he's doing. This guy makes a career out of backpedaling. In rugby, you go forward. Tell him to pull up the Mailata rugby highlights. Dude's a tank. Yeah, he ran the ball. 6'8", 300 pounds, and moves like Shaquille O'Neal. Unreal. Unreal talent. Let's go. You got to be one of the Pro Bowl offensive tackles. I think Landon Dickerson is morphing into, look, the kid in Indianapolis. You know, I watched that kid in Indianapolis last night, and I watched that guy at Indy last night, and I go, you really think that guy's better than Landon Dickerson? Whew, boy, I didn't come away with that. And I watched him very close, and I'm watching that guy, and I went like this. That guy, if anything, they're similar. I was like, I don't see where people think that guy in Indy is better than Landon Dickerson. Dickerson is gargantuan. He moves well. He's tough as nails. He picks his feet up in traffic. Here's another kid that's an all-pro candidate. Dude, I mean, I watched that guy, Nelson. Yeah, that's it, Cody. I watched him last night, and I wanted to go, is that guy better than Landon Dickerson? So I watched him. I'm like, I didn't come away going, oh, yeah. I mean, the kid in Cleveland's good. The guy in Kansas City's pretty decent. Zach Martin's good. But I went like this, the guy who is I think he's the highest paid guard in the league. And I went, you think that guy's really better than him? Tell you what, Howie's got a big number coming up with Landon Dickerson. If that guy's making $20 million, Landon Dickerson's going to make $20 million. Okay? He's going to make $20 million. Kelsey, the question will be on him. Does Father Time catch him? I'll tell you something that I really enjoy with Jason. It's a privilege to watch him play ball, and it's a privilege to watch him handle himself. He's been one of the greatest Eagles on and off the field that I've seen in my time playing against you guys, covering you guys, knowing many of your guys, knowing your owners. I knew Norman Brayman. I still know Norman. Kelsey has the personality of Jerome Brown, just different. He's like Jerome, very charismatic, very charismatic. The podcast stuff, the way he talks, the way he handles himself, he handles his business on and off the field. I mean, nothing gets in his way. He's a football player first and foremost. He's a father first and foremost. Then he's a football player. Then he's a celebrity. He's got his priorities in order. And what he's done is he's worked his way into the Hall of Fame. So you respect that. Every single thing that he did from a sixth rounder, I think it was, he's worked his way up from being a sixth round draft choice into being one of the very few selected guys that will go into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Absolutely, GT, a true professional. He embodies what Philly's about, in my opinion. Okay? And by the way, that thing he said the other day about starting that fight, he did that for the public so that people won't come down on him nationally because everyone come. You know, he was looking out for you. Because they would just say, oh, cheap shot, Philadelphia Eagle guy. It's symbolic of the city. He did that for you, not for him or the Eagles. That was for public perception that he apologized like that. Okay? He apologized for the fan base for the fan base for his actions. You're trying to tell me you don't think Jason Kelsey, if he saw something out there on the field that he didn't think was professional, that he's not going to go out there and take someone's head off? I highly doubt that. I highly doubt that. Okay? I actually like the cheap shot. I don't know. Hey, by the way, for the record, I'm not against cheap shots. You keep taking shitty shots at me or any of my teammates, I'm going to take one at you. Fair play here, Hoss. This is a fist fight. This isn't Queensberry rules here. Football game's not Queensberry rules. You want to piss on me? I'm going to piss on you. It's football, man. What do you think this is? Sportsmanship? Give me a break. Sportsmanship? That's when you're a little kid and you hear all them dumb people talking, kids are watching and this and that. Yeah, well, when you grow up and you play pro ball, you're not a kid anymore. Okay? Not a kid anymore. Playing a man's game. And men get into fights. Okay? You're protecting your own, and you're protecting your soil. Sportsmanship. I got your sportsmanship. Don't ever shake my hand after a loss. Why in the world would I shake your hand after a loss? Sorry, I ain't built that way. You kick my team's ass or you want a ball game, you think I'm shaking your hand? Why? Hey, I'll call you in a couple weeks, especially if we're boys. I'll say great game to you, but you ain't getting me right after a 60-minute war. Shaking your hand, congratulating you beating me. What do you think we're doing here? Don't go soft on me, man. Are you crazy? Shaking people's hands after. I thought you were tougher than this. Cam Jurgens. He's had a really good camp. Okay? Kean goes, you're a bitch if you can't take a loss like a man. Okay, I'm a bitch. Cam Jurgens had a really good camp and solidified him starting the season at right guard. Okay? All right? He has. I think Steen's on his heels, though. Okay? I think Steen's right there. I like Cam. I think Cam had a good camp. The problem I got with Cam, though, the O-line goes like this, right? Look, huge. What is it? 6'8", 6'5", 6'3", 6'3", 6'5". I'd like it to be 6'5", or 6'8", 6'5", 6'3", 6'6", 6'5". You know what I mean? The biggest guys I can get out there is what I want Jalen Hurts to play. behind. I want the biggest dudes I can get, okay? Maniac, what up, brother? Okay? I'm going to get to the defense. I'm going to get to all this. Hang in there. Hang in there. Show me a good loser, and I'll show you a loser. Hey, Bear, let me use the Woody Hayes line. You show me a good loser, I'll show you a waiter. Right tackle, Lane Johnson. Next. Lane Johnson. I'm trying to think of something. Of all the players on your offense, watch this. Jalen. I want him to play smart, not get hit. Okay. Pick up blitz as well. Swift, stay healthy. A.J. Brown, when the play's not your side, act like you're still involved and engaged. I think he takes plays off. Devontae Smith, stay healthy. Quez, I don't want to go back and litigate that because I could be here all day. Goddard, catch more footballs. Stay healthy. Malata, it's time to step up. Now, I'm giving you the benefit because you didn't play ball 5 years ago. Dickerson, stay healthy. Keep picking your feet up. Kelsey, Father Time going to get you? Cam, we don't know yet. Lane, what's the weakness? What's the weakness? Time to go to defense. Of all the players on your football team, he's the only guy who has zero weakness or things to work on. He has nothing to work on. Okay, just nothing. GT, okay, health. I don't know how you prepare for health because he can get rolled up on at any time. Stay healthy. This guy has nothing to work on. Nothing. He's the most complete player on your team. Let's go over to the defense now. Only weakness is maybe his hairline's receding. Okay. Hey, 5-time Super Bowl champ, baby. Scumbag Lane, I'd call him that too after he shut down Bosa. I'd be saying that too. Especially after he shut down Nick Bosa. All right, defense. Brandon Graham, and then I got the kid Robinson behind him. Okay? Janaris Robinson, I got behind him. You're thin there. You're thin there. Okay? You can't lose Brandon Graham. Can he do it again? Man, I'm hoping he gets 7 sacks. I hope he gets 7 sacks. I got Jalen Carter starting. And I got Jordan Davis behind him. And I think they should rotate those two. Those guys should split reps this year. I think it's smart to play those two guys behind each other. And maybe one starts 1 week, another starts. Like Jordan Davis starting against New England might make more sense than Jalen Carter because I think they're going to run the ball a lot. We're going to talk about that a little bit because now it's time to start thinking about New England. I think they're going to run the ball more. but I want to get Carter as many reps as possible. Okay. So to me, he's the better player, but him and Davis should split those reps there, in my opinion. Okay. I got Fletcher at the right defensive tackle position and Milton Williams. That's a pretty good foursome there. Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Fletcher Cox, Milton Williams. There's a ton of upside there. There's a ton of upside with those four guys. I could see Milton Williams getting some starts. Guys get nicked up. I could see Milton Williams playing a little bit of that right defensive tackle position, or maybe sliding Jalen over to that 3 technique and putting Williams over on that left tackle position. I think Tracy's got a pretty good. I think he's got a pretty good rotation there. I think you're good there. And now it's really just about going out and getting reps and then finding out how good it actually is. Because right now, again, we don't know how good it can be. Okay? But according to Pro Football Focus, one of the most improved defensive tackles last year in the NFL was Milton Williams. That's good, man. When you got your backup guys getting better, that's the player development. That's what you're looking for. Josh Sweat continues to impress me. He's rangy. He's Brian Burns, the kid from Carolina. I think he is looking more and more like Brian Burns every single time that I watch him in a pass rush drill, in an inside drill, in a 9-on-7. Every time I watch him going through skill set drills and everything Tracy's telling me, that he's just getting better and better and better, and he's understanding the position. He understands the defense. He understands leverage. Remember, he's only 255 pounds or like 260. He's not an enormous guy, and he's built exactly like the kid. They got a kid down there now, this Verse kid at Florida State, and they're producing these edge rushers that look like Brian Burns and Josh Sweat. I think the reason that Josh Sweat went in the 4th round, didn't he have a knee injury when he was at Florida State? Did he have a knee? Am I right? Do I remember that? And I mean, the former coach at Oregon, I think, was his coach. I could have swore that Sweat had an injury his senior year at Florida State, and that's why he fell in the draft the way he did. I thought he got hurt at FSU. And that's kind of why he slid down in the draft, because he's a first-round talent. Sweat had a catastrophic knee injury in high school and almost needed to get his leg amputated. He battled back from it. Okay, so it happened in high school, and this is why he's been getting better and better and better. And I would imagine NFL teams were a little suspect of that knee, and why he's a first-round talent. He's a first-round talent that NFL teams were nervous on. Okay? That is really something great that Dumbo Fisher did. And it could have been Dumbo Fisher that was there that got him to Florida State. It could have been Dumbo Fisher that got him in the building there, and not the guy from Oregon. Because you had a catastrophic knee injury your senior year. You probably had very limited scholarship offers, and somebody probably begged FSU to take him. They probably saw his junior year tape and said, wow, this kid's great. Let's see what we can do with him. And NFL teams, once they worked it out, they said, you're going to waste a first-round pick? What if this guy's knee doesn't come around? So he's a first-round talent. I see why. He's a first-round. That's a first-round draft choice. The Eagles have a first-round draft choice that they got in the 4th round. I mean, you're looking at some of these. You look at a pick like that, you talk about being underdrafted. You could have said this to me right now, the way he's playing. Shit, man. He was taken 10th. Yeah, okay. Yeah, Josh Sweat taken 10th. That's what I would say today. He was a 4th rounder. Okay, what happened? That's what I would do with him. I would go like this. Well, something must have happened really awful, like an injury, because that's not a 4th round guy. Okay? I think Zach Cunningham starts. They didn't dress him last night. I got Nicholas Morrow behind him. I don't have a problem with Zach Cunningham. I think Zach Cunningham's going to do a good job this year. You go back and watch him play last year. I don't really have an understanding why the Titans didn't bring him back. What are you looking for there? I mean, was it a money thing? Did you not like him? I mean, I'm not getting that. Injuries, Tone? Well, if I'm going to cut a guy and he's got injuries to sign a guy who can't do the job, I'm still going to keep Zach Cunningham on my team. I'm just not going to cut him. Again, when you cut somebody or get rid of somebody, you better have something in mind. Like I said, getting rid of TJ Edwards is a complete disaster, in my opinion. And, hey, like I said, too, debating that's over now. You're married to it. Whether you think Jacoby's good or I don't or whatever, it's over now. You got to get ready for New England. That conversation is finished. Okay? That conversation's over. There's no debating it. We're now going to debate it Monday morning after New England. Okay? Sills, what's your opinion on Simmons to the Giants? I don't think the Cardinals got enough for that. I think Isaiah Simmons, they played him out of position. Gee, who would have thought the Cardinals played someone out of position like Hassan Reddick? What would make you think Isaiah Simmons from Clemson at Arizona was used correctly by the Cardinals? They had him going back and forth between safety and linebacker. They couldn't figure out Hassan Reddick there. Everything now that comes out of Arizona, when they move somebody, I will question because you couldn't figure out Reddick. And you're playing the guy in between two positions. Figure out what he does best. Are the Giants going to play him at backer or safety? They're going to play him at safety. Cardinals stink, not only in personnel decisions, but in coaching decisions. So I don't think they got enough for him, and I think they didn't coach him well. Not that I think that he's been a star there, but I'm going to give the player the benefit of the doubt. Hassan Reddick makes that happen. They don't get anything right in Arizona. I like Zach Cunningham. I've come around on him. Guy's been there 2 weeks. Hey, man, I saw a guy, Gardner Johnson, who was there 1 week, lead the NFL in interceptions. Nakobe Dean. I think all the debating and all the conversation that I've had this offseason is well documented. You're married to it. He's not, in my opinion, this is an opinion now, Nakobe. He's not been prepared to play that position at all in the offseason. He has not been prepared to play that position. He's had limited reps. He's missed practice. He's not prepared. But the Eagles are confident. I want to know why they're confident. And we're going to find out against New England. How about this? Like I said, it's not about a talent conversation. He's just not been practicing enough. He's had no reps, very limited live reps, and everyone's confident and comfortable. Okay. We're going to find out why. There's a reason that wide receivers and quarterbacks practice endlessly. And players practice like, so wait a minute, let me ask you this. You think of Jalen Hurts. Let me ask you something here about Jalen Hurts. Everyone. So you think if Jalen Hurts had prepared for this season the same way that Nakobe Dean has been prepared for this season, you'd feel comfortable with Jalen going into a game against New England? Ask yourself that. Why does the quarterback feel that he has to be over-prepared for this upcoming season, and the Eagles don't think they have to prepare their Mike linebacker. The quarterback is overprepared. You'd feel comfortable if Jalen didn't put in all the work. I wonder how the Eagles would feel about that. You think Jalen would feel? You think Jalen would feel prepared? Let alone what you think. You think he'd feel prepared if he didn't practice at all? Had no time with the team? Didn't work with the wideouts? Had 34 reps? Really? That's all I need to know. We're not debating that then. Strong side backer, Reddick. I got this in a 43. Nolan Smith behind him. It's going to be interesting to see how they use him. I hope they get – you know what I'd like to see? I'd like to see Nolan Smith get about 20 reps. 20 reps a game. I'd like to see him at the beginning get 20 reps. I'd like to have him on third down and long. Rocket that guy off the edge in the perimeter. So let me get this right. You have Brandon Graham, Hassan Reddick. Maybe you put Nolan Smith on the other side. You take Cunningham out in that 43 look, and you have those two guys rushing, and you have the other two setting the edge, Sweat and Graham. Vice versa, run a twist with those. Can you imagine running twist stunts with Brandon Graham, Nolan Smith, Hassan Reddick, and Josh Sweat? That would make a tight end offensive tackle have nightmares going into games. I mean, you got a 4-3 dude on one end. You got a guy who had 19 and a half sacks last year. And you got two defensive ends that had double-digit sacks. Okay, you're leaving your back in. You're going max protection on that. Quarterback's going to get hit in the back of the head. Okay? You need max protection on that. Once you ask Brock Purdy that. I got Bradbury and Avonte Maddox. Hey, by the way, Avonte Maddox, is he healthy? I want to finish this up, Tone. Is Avonte Maddox healthy? I mean, what did he do this camp? Where's Avonte Maddox? Where's this guy? Guy's always banged up or something. I never see him, man. He's like Casper the Ghost. Where is he? I mean, never dressed. His toe. Jesus, criminy. Kid. I mean, this guy here, man, is made of balsa wood. This guy's paper mache. Come on, kid. Let's go. Always injured, man. You know, I'm going to do this here. But Terrell Edmonds has to start. And Reed Blankenship in your safety positions, they have to start. Sidney Brown, all the excitement about him, and there should be, okay? There should be. But he's too prone to make mistakes right now. I don't trust him. I don't trust him right now. Okay? I just don't yet. He's got to show me I can trust him in coverage. And he's got to be a better tackler. That has reared its head the last 2 weeks. The scouting report on him was that he doesn't wrap up. Well, it's evident when you watch it. He doesn't wrap up. He's not a really good tackler. And with a team that's lost so many tacklers, he needs to improve on that. That's a skill he can work on. He's not a very good tackler. Now, does he get to the ball? Does he run through the tackler? Does he do all the things? Does he get good instincts? Is he tough as hell? Does he have the attitude you want? All of that is a positive. But, dude, at the end of the day, it's tackle football. Kid, you got to get guys on the ground. I'm going to get to McKee in this next hour coming up here, 85. I'll give you my impression of Tanner McKee here in a second. And what they've been doing is with Darius Slay, they want Slay healthy for the upcoming season. The kid Keely Ringo showed me nothing. I don't know. I mean, I don't see anything in him yet. He has not impressed. Okay. And the lack of athleticism in his hips, it's played out a little bit in the exhibition season. He's not very good right now. It doesn't mean he can't improve. Is he going through rookie stuff? Probably. But you think I'm going to put that guy at a cornerback position and I'm going to line that guy out there on Stephon Diggs? You would be high. That is not happening. Stephon Diggs would shake the change out of that kid's pockets. He's not the most athletic. Can I tell you what I would do with Keely Ringo? I'd slide him over to safety. I'd put him in the safety position. I don't believe he can play an NFL cornerback. I just don't believe he's an NFL quarterback or cornerback kind of thing. So I would play him and give him reps at safety, free and strong. I'm impressed by you, Big Sills. Thank you, Maniac. Thank you, my friend. Thank you very much. The other thing, too, one last thing here on the offensive side, it was very evident that the Eagles wanted to get Rashad Penny into the regular season. They had no interest in seeing him outside of that one run in the first exhibition game, carrying the ball. They had no interest in it. So they want to get him to the regular season. They're pretty comfortable with his talent. I probably think he makes the team. Okay? Look, I'm going to give you the guys like Ricks and Tanner McKee here in a second. Philly Godfather is going to join us at 5:30 Eastern time. I want to hit on that. We got a boatload of stuff yet. The strengths and weaknesses going into the 2023 season, what are they? We're going to do some of that. Please hit the like button. Hour number 2, keep it here on the National Football Show. Hey, by the way, my friends, do not forget, I almost did, because get this, we have such a great schedule lined up for you guys when it comes to our friends at Hooters. Let me tell you this, man. I talked to the guys last night. They could not believe how many people were rolling into the King of Prussia Hooters last night at all 7 of the locations in the Northeast area. All you do is log on to northeasthooters.com to find that location. They're celebrating the 40th anniversary of Hooters. 40th anniversary. The iconic Hooter girls are going to be there for you to serve you. Tuesdays, you buy 10 wings, 10 boneless, you get free. Wing Wednesdays, 1983. Year it was founded in the 40th anniversary. All you can eat. Kids eat free on Saturdays. Don't forget happy hours each and every single day. Some of the best happy hour deals going. Plus, $6, 6 items. Your favorite draft, your favorite sandwich, your favorite fried pickles, all of that there for you at Hooters. And again, don't forget, we're going to be doing a ton of stuff with our friends at King of Prussia Hooters. So make sure you go over to my Twitter page at Dan Sileo Show to see that schedule on when we're going to be in town. NortheastHooters.com to find the 7 locations. Exhibition football tonight, Saturday, and Sunday to wrap up the exhibition weekend. And then we get ready for the first week of the NFL in 2 weeks. So we look forward to that. And anytime you go into Hooters, do me a favor. You make sure you tell them Big Sil sent you.